bring my story and allow me to inspire and to motivate you guys. Just, talking about where I came from. And I don't know, maybe you guys know a couple of my movies, $1 Million Baby, Scorpion King, Gangs of New York, even Malcolm in the Middle, Fear the Walking Dead. I mean, the list goes on. But I didn't start that way. I started from absolutely nothing. I came from the hood. My family were all in 18th Street, in gangs, drugs. And when I got out of my house, I was 16 years old, because I knew that there was something different instead of the gang life, instead of how I grew up. And sometimes you just don't have a choice. You're born into a family that you feel that you feel that you're kind of off. And I always felt that I was the person that didn't fit in the crowd, always. I was the misfit. I came from the misfit of the island of misfits. I did. I felt like I did. But now that I have achieved so much and been in a bunch of movies, and I'm a stunt woman and have produced a lot of movies, and that I'm recognized, I feel that I need to come to a facility like this and write my book and tell my stories, how I got there. When I was 16 years old, I left my house because I watched all these movies like The Brady Bunch and The Partridge Family and all these movies where the families were really, they weren't like my family. They sat down at dinner and they actually talked about what their day was. I mean, I never had that. I never, ever even knew any of the stories that, these nursery rhymes and all how, you feel that a family is supposed to be brought up, where you're read to and you get the opportunity to tell people, your family, how you feel. But I was never, ever had that opportunity to be able to tell my family, because they kind of didn't care. I was the baby of 5. My mom's Mexican, my dad's Greek. And I just felt that I was kind of ignored, of course, but there was times where I wanted my family to be there at school or in different situations, and they weren't, because they were into drugs and it just wasn't good. So when I would watch TV, I saw these families who sat down and they cared about their kids, and I thought, you know what, I'm getting the hell out of here, and I'm going to start my own life. I'm not going to continue this pattern where it's not for me. I felt that I was different, and I felt that I wanted to accomplish something, but I didn't get any encouragement from my family, only because they didn't know any better. Sometimes you can't blame it on your family. They just don't know, because their family came, and it's like a little pattern. But I really enjoy breaking that pattern. You break it and you become your own path. And my own path was, I came from a very violent family. And so I started taking fighting lessons, but in a positive way. And then I went out there and I became champion of the world. I was on ESPN and Prime Ticket fighting. And I thought, wow, I'm bringing my fighting to the good, to the positive. And what's so funny is my family never even recognized who I was until I was on TV. That's kind of crappy, right? And so I just sort of started my own world and started my own path. And I started fighting all over the world. And then when I finished fighting, I thought, well, what can I do now? All I know is fighting. And then so I became an action actress. And I was in all these different movies being an action actress, kicking ass, getting my ass kicked. And I'm like, but that's what I knew. And then in life, there's so many detours. I didn't didn't expect to do that. I wanted to, when I was younger, they would say, well, what do you want to be in life? And I always said, I want to be an actress. I didn't want to be a fighter. I didn't want to get my ass kicked, but you have to go through different detours and embrace them. And I was so angry when I was about 16, 17, 18. I can remember times when I swear I couldn't even smile. I couldn't. And if I did, it was a fake smile. It would be like that. It was. And I didn't feel happy inside because there was nothing to make me happy. And the energy that I had, because everybody has the energy. They're born with energy. They're born with positive good. And that was kind of fading. I felt that it was going away. And it wasn't, and nothing could make me happy. I was on my own, and I have this book that I wrote, and it's about how I progressed and how I became who I became. But at 16 years old, I didn't know any better. I didn't know what the heck. All I knew was fighting and drugs and blah, blah, blah. So I just wanted to do something with my life, and that little bit of encouragement was inside me. Just a little bit. It was so hard to pull out of myself because nobody was giving it to me. Nobody will give it to you. So I pulled out that little bit, and I started to teach myself how to fight and how to be happy and what was going to make me happy. And I loved makeup. And so I started taking some makeup classes, and then I started, and then I graduated from the makeup class, and I was still fighting. And, it kind of gave me a balance from being rough and tough to doing makeup and being kind of making myself pretty. And it was difficult for me to stay happy and to stay there. But I knew that nobody else is going to encourage me but me. There's nobody in this world who is your best backup but you. Nobody is your best fan but you. Nobody. If you don't love and encourage yourself and feel that little bit of light inside, don't let it be dark.